Hiya, it's Sue from Waking the Mystic, and I thought I'd give you a little insight into my own awakening. Perhaps it can be helpful to some of you that are going through this process. I just finished a book which has more detail in this process that I have undergone and still am going through. So for me, I am, as my older daughter says, a boomer. I am of the boomer generation, which was a much less stressful time. We did not have the high tech. Our shows were I Dream of Jeannie and Lost in Space. Our towns were our communities. We did not have social media. I grew up in a traditional Catholic family. We went to church, and it was a more simpler time than it is now. I think that today's generation, they are so fast paced. Their brains just go, 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 go. They're a lot smarter than we were too, I think. I had an unremarkable childhood, really. I mean, we all have our stories. I do recall being in church, doing my first confession, thinking there was something very wrong with this picture. I was, as many were, sent to a room with a sliding door and a priest on the other side, and I was to confess my sins. Now, I was kind of young to have anything really to talk about, so I had to lie to the priest to tell him that I had sinned, which was weird. The door slid open and there was this guy on the other side listening to me lie to him. So I think that was the beginning sort of the end for me as far as the traditional Catholic Church went. I mean, I did what I had to do for my parents, and after that was kind of it. I went to college, I partied, I did all of that, and in my early 30s, my girlfriend gave me a set of tarot cards, and that was like, I fell in love with reading tarot cards. That was awesome. We had some unusual experiences happen. One in particular, I was driving home from work. I had 2 small kids, and it was a blinding snowstorm in New England, and this usually meant it was going to be about 4 hours to get home. I was climbing a hill, and there was a line of cars behind me, and a car at the top of the hill was heading straight towards me. I knew I didn't have a chance. It was going to hit me head on. And all of a sudden, my steering wheel just went on its own and took me to the other lane. Just drove me off into the other lane. I avoided the crash. Unfortunately, the person behind me took it head on. And I was in that lane and then ended up in the right lane, and up that hill I went without a scratch. So that was like, that began the big questions in my mind. Like, okay, something else is going on around here. In my early 30s also, I started to open up spiritually, and it freaked me out. And my husband started experiencing phenomena, and I had 2 little kids, so I decided we weren't going to do that. So I stopped all of that activity. My youngest daughter was born with a congenital birth defect, and with that came severe epilepsy and intellectual disability. And so when she was young and diagnosed, I took this as something I had done wrong. Why me? How come this happened to me? What can I do to fix it? So I went madly into researching everything I could possibly research into trying to heal this anomaly that she was born with, to heal her, because there was something I could do about it. And it was, I would say, 20-year search into the depths of anything from death and dying to metaphysics. I mean, you name it, I read it. But I think in the end, it turned out that I was on a quest to heal myself, not her. She had absolutely nothing wrong with her. Anyway, so for 20 years, I spent time researching and taking care of my kids, and that was it was a hard task. It was quite a task to take care of my youngest daughter. And then when COVID hit, I, like everyone else, was watching the news. I, was crazed and worried and scared, and it just got to be too much. So finally, I just turned off the phone and said, I'm going to go meditate. People say that if you meditate, it can calm you. Things can be calmed down. So I started to meditate, and I thought that was just, I couldn't understand how people could sit quietly and keep their minds quiet. I thought this was a terrible idea. But I stuck with it because not only were we all home with COVID, I had a place to go and say, okay, I gotta go because I'm gonna go meditate. And then I would fall asleep 5 minutes. And then over time, I started to enjoy and look forward to it. I started to listen to certain beats in my ears that would distract me from the chatter going on. During this time, a friend of mine mentioned a healer she had a phone conversation with, and she had healed a hearing thing she had had for many years. So I said, let me check this out. I'll make an appointment with her. I was a little skeptical. This is over the phone, and and while I was on the phone with her, she was in a meditation, and all of a sudden, my entire crown chakra just something started spinning, and I had no idea what was happening. And my crown chakra opened up like big time. So we finished and we hung up, and for about a month and a half, I was loopy. I was not grounded. I was out in the stratosphere. So I called her back. I said, listen, I don't know what's happening. And she told me that my chakras were out of alignment. I had a big shift, and boy, did I have to learn quickly what to do, because that began this, now it's been 4-year journey of a profound awakening. In that time, I began writing, and in a short time, my writing became very profound, and I knew that this wasn't my lower mind's writing. This was quite profound writing, and I write every day still. I became a channel for higher energies. I understood that we do have quite a relationship with the cosmos and the beings in the cosmos. They most certainly are interested in having a relationship with us. I understood our own divinity, that we are truly all that is, that we are the divine, and And so I thought that being a boomer, I could help other boomers who I had no reference point for this. No, I mean, this was just like, oh, what is going on? And it can be a frightening experience. The Kundalini in this body rose and has been rising and does all kinds of crazy things to the physical body, to the mental, to the emotional, to all aspects. So I didn't know where to turn. Luckily, I do own a shop, a metaphysical shop in Sandy Hook, Connecticut, and we have a team of people. They're in the know and they help me significantly. I get energy work every month, and I tune in. I do meditate. I think it's one of the best things you can do to connect with your deeper self, your higher aspects. And it does bring a profound peace. So because of the years of suffering, or what I assumed I was suffering from, this pulled me right out of it. So, and during that time too, I used, alcohol was a big part of my life to suppress my feelings of fear, anxiety, confinement. So this channel is to reach out to others who are in need, who are going through the process. We're all going through it. And it's so helpful to have other people to bounce things off of. I mean, it is your own experience. Each person is individual, and they'll go through this in their own way, but how nice it is to share. So that's a little bit about my story, and I would love to hear about yours. If you wanted to reach out, in the link below, I have 2 websites, wakingthemystic.com and newinsightsboutique.com, both of which, we can be in touch. So, thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.